I would like to introduce you to Thumper and Cocoa. Thumper and Cocoa. These guys are such good cats. They kind of have a huge story for sure. Thumper here used to never ever get in trouble, and Cocoa used to take all the blame, and I have been taught so much by these two guys. They facilitate astral travel beyond belief. It is not even funny. Connect to your cats. They turned it on a little too many times, but they are staying out here in this RV, and it gets kind of cold, so I built them. Where's the clean kit go? A little something here. A little cat cave that they share. It's a little box of the foam mats. Let me just show you just really quick because it is a lifesaver. Sorry. See, it's a little, guys, it's a little square, and then pillows on the side. They get on top, so the pillows were not having it. It was like every single day. And this is our property. Little 5 acres here. I used to rent over that away. You can kind of see the place from here if you know where to look and how to look. But it is a little bit expanding your situational awareness like that. Also facilitate lucid dreaming, astral projection, lucidity, and things of that nature. Your situational awareness. It's so cute. This is where I wrote so many of my books, and so much content was living in here before then, kind of getting into renting from my landlord again that had exposed wires and mice, rats. On my birthday, I kind of came home to a sizable mouse that was almost a rat in the toilet. Most of the time there in here, I had no water at all, and he kind of denied me using the bathroom. So to be able to use the bathroom, I had to rent the other trailer, because he had rented out the first trailer that I was in. He had 2 trailers on the plot, and he systematically pretty much neglected to do anything, and then made a couple families homeless. I had come back after being supposedly the only one that was paying him, so I can't believe any of the other stuff about the other tenants not paying him, because he just would let the heat go out, the water for so long, so many times, no water. And it was daisy chained from this trailer to this trailer, so there was just so much of everyone was kind of giving him and them enough to take care of the property, place, and the rent, right? And utilities, and just kind of chasing after his own tail, chasing after not owning up to some of the responsibilities that come with that chosen profession. And the first time I was very spiteful. I was very angry about all of it. And then living in here, kind of with without any water and out with less and less and less, was a huge side of facilitating my spiritual awakening that lasted for 3 months of some amazing and miraculous experiences. I woke up right here, and I finally felt alive. I knew where I was and everything that was happening. It was very much like any and every time I'd ever done any drug at once, all at the same time. I did rip off the left growth plate to my left femur when I was 14. A couple months in, after being like 14, something in there. And was forced upon morphine. They did what they thought was best, and I was shot up with morphine when I left the hospital in Alamosa. I was in and out of lucidity on the way to the hospital, and then when I got there, the severity of the accident was very much an emergency, and when I got to Alamosa, no one there could do anything about it. They didn't have anyone that was capable enough to handle this kind of emergency surgery, so they needed to send me to Pueblo. And when I got there, that was when things got quite a bit interesting. So many different things happened. I hadn't peed all day long. So when they came, when I got in to the prep room, I guess, I told them that I had to go to the bathroom, and they brought me over one of those liter containers, and I was like, no, I really have to go. Like, I haven't gone all day. And she said, we've never had anyone overfill this, right? And before this, I had done some practicing, like with just drinking a bunch of water and then holding it and not and drinking and then going and peeing all kinds. So so I hadn't been doing that, but like when I was like 13 and 14, I was doing that. So I kind of gave up on that part of controlling and connecting to my body for a little while. And anyway, when they brought that thing, I was like, okay. I filled it to the brim. She held it like it was an atomic bomb, like it was going to go all over and everything. And rightfully so, because it was to the brim. It was cusping over. It was so full, and I had to cut it off and shut it down and stop peeing. I still had more pee to pee. So pretty comical, in a lot of pain. And then they decided to talk to my mom and I, and have her and myself sign liability of the hospital away, and anyone, if anything happens, your son could die. We're going to have him so far asleep that we're going to have a machine breathing for him. So we had a short discussion, and there was no other options, so we signed the papers, and then they put me into traction. And when I ripped off the growth plate, it was beside the top of the femur, beside the tib fib, beside the kneecap. So it was enormous. It was pretty thick and sucked up. There's a tendon in your thigh, I believe, in your leg, that can withstand 14,000 pounds. So so they had to put me into tension, under tension, and sort of pseudo set the leg. And in order to perform this surgery, the doctor wanted to be able to slice open my knee and not have any of my nervous system react in any way. So they had to have a pretty sophisticated getup going on. And then I ended up feeling like my foot was on fire and about to rip off. The straps they wrapped around my bare foot to then put the rest in traction was worse than the entire ordeal. It was more pain than ripping the growth plate off. I actually tried to pop it back in and had my snowboard stuck in the snow and tried to stand and put it into tension myself, put it all back together, and then it kind of ground on itself and popped back all apart, and I knew I was screwed. And then I was with a couple of friends, and they skied down and got ski patrol, and then I had a ride down backwards. That's pretty much an experience. And that's rewinding back to the beginning, but indeed, it felt like my foot was being torn off. So I pleaded and begged and just everything to try and get them to not have it like that, take it off, and just, you're going to put me to sleep that far anyway. Everything I could do. But that didn't go on, and it eventually I stopped having such a large panic attack from it and calmed myself down. That was the only thing that the drugs did, was kind of inhibit the connection to my body and the ability to control pain. So it kind of like numbed the pain, but it disoriented me to the point that I was turned off to prescription pain pills for the rest of my life. Absolutely. And then we went into surgery, and they applied the anesthesia, and this was my second major out-of-body experience that kind of hid itself from me, and kind of the beginning steps are a little hard to believe. So your brain will block parts of memories out with an idea of trauma, and then you'll have a full life review and a number of life reviews a couple of different ways if you actually want to reprogram your subconscious and step into and through the mirror, the looking glass, walk around on the other side and rearrange what you're going to find when you come back to life and things of that nature, whatever you would want to call this side of the fog of domestic violence. And that concept is enormous. They are trigger words, but So laying there, he was going to have us count backwards down from 10, right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And at 4, I was slipped into remote viewing and then kind of bounced in and out of remote viewing from the anesthesiologist's eyes, the doctor's eyes, the nurse's eyes, the other doctor's eyes, the other nurse's eyes, and then kind of hovering above my own self, and then kind of drifting backwards, rewinding into the blank void of nothingness that we associate fear and death with. So it was very much of a sucking up and out of the room through a higher observational point of perspective. And then entering into the womb as if my eyes were closed, and you kind of can see the first stages of manifestation of light, the light that you are, the program on the other side of the looking glass. I know it may seem a bit strange, but there's more than meets the eye when we are looking at the illusion, the Maya or Paya, the distortion of reality that solidifies into what we get to pick up and touch and play with. And then this was when I woke up from the next day. My mom was there, and we were dealing with 2 weeks of morphine. Basically, that's what they thought was what was needed for the pain that was more and more disorienting and just depression. There's a term in neuroscience, and it is stated as such: if there's a receptor in the brain for any chemical, foreign or man-made, that means the body creates it. I would add to that, through the slew of emotional cocktails we mix and sip, especially in moments of trauma and stress, as well as, since the body is programmable, and the middleman in that energy exchange, the body knows better than the mind sometimes. We place ourselves in a state of awareness that takes us from the future to the past, because our dreams, they bring back memories of everything we've been through. And that rips us from the now, or what have you, your situational awareness, because you can play with your memories and your future in a different way. Living life in the rear view mirror perspective tends to have the worst case scenario unfolding in front of ourselves, and we create our own hurdles. This is a feedback loop of programmable information, the Planck field of limitless possibilities. And that means the same thing as the fog of domestic violence. But that's just like the light and the dark, our dreams and our nightmares. The speed of thought is all we are. So there's quite a bit to explaining these concepts and grasping these concepts to then be able to set these concepts down, because a concept is what kind of confines and creates all of this, as well as creates our mental fabrications into a solidification of their own that then attack our ego and start depleting self-worth, feeding doubt, defeating the hero of 1,000 faces that you truly are. So connecting to the I am instead of connecting to I is a little different. There's a little conundrum there too. And just like every concept, it is a conundrum. It is part of duality. It is like this, and it's also like this, and it's also like that, and it's also like this. And each of our perspectives are all going to add into all of this and sort of form into how and the different stages of astral projection or lucid dreaming or remote viewing or so many of all these mystical, magical abilities just reside in all of us. And it is a way of cleansing trauma because of those life reviews. And the life review that when you just slow down and listen far enough, you'll just feel everything from a different point of view, a different observational perspective that allows disassociation to not individuals, not people, but the feelings and emotions that are creating our idea of our personal expression and our residual image. So there's a lot going on in the words that I just spit out. I don't have a script or anything, so I hope I didn't drift or too much. But anyways, at the core of why I wanted to even show you guys the kitty cats and the little plot of 5-acre acreage that doesn't have power, doesn't have a bathroom, doesn't have water. It's very much off the grid for right now, and we can't live here because of rules. So you can try and build and live in your RV on your property for a couple months at a time here in El Paso County, and then everything has steps and stages. So I would love to take you through how I have gone from living under the thumb of a slumlord to being able to start over with an entirely different point of view. Just kind of able to let go of what I was clinging to, and the anger and the frustrations and the ideas. As it's very much similar and the same. There's still a bank to pay, and it's only $100 less than the rent that he was charging us, right? Like, so there's a bit of this is less while being more, and just gratitude and baby steps, and how far 1% every day can get us. And we're here getting it. I'm sorry. Yes, I got it's hard to see outside, isn't it? I built this little shed. Got trailer and dirt bikes over here. Thank you so much. Oh, I can't say. Namaste.